Building dental practices is the ultimate goal for most dental entrepreneurs. Some achieve this goal in 5 to 10 years, while others achieve it in less than a year. Why is that so? Part of the reason is not knowing where or how to start. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 7 steps that we use to create our dental startups. Also, I'm going to give a little background on our dental franchise company and explain how it's possible for any dental entrepreneurs to follow these simple steps to accomplish their scratch start. To start though, you're probably thinking who I am. Good question. Hi, I'm Dr. David Park from Clear Lake Dental. I'm the CEO of the franchise, and our mission is to help ambitious dentists create their own dental practice. If they join our network of dentists, great. If they create their own, great. In either case, that's our mission. So far, we've created dental practices that generate about $3 million or more, and we are rapidly growing. The 7 steps that we created works for generally all dental practices. Ours just happens to be in the medical assistance field. Arguably, you could make more in a PPO office, though we consider ourselves one of the best in our special niche. When creating dental offices, there's no right or wrong way to go about it. Okay, so there may be a few ways to go wrong about it, but don't worry about it, because I've already made those mistakes, so you don't have to. And that's a big thing. Just by watching these videos will save you a whole boatload of money, and it will help you prevent all those mistakes. Point number 1, register your business. When I first started, I was thinking about the most perfect name, and I literally thought about it for about 3 days too. And no, I'm not even joking. 3 days of wondering what my future dental practice is going to be called. In the end, I gave up and thought, okay, well, we're in Minnesota, and what's so good about Minnesota? And I couldn't think of anything at the time because I just moved to Minnesota. Then I thought, okay, well, Minnesotans keep saying that they got 10,000 lakes, and so lakes and the dental office must be clean. So what's clean and good? Clear Lakes Dental. Clear Lakes Dental. There you go. Great. So now we have a name. So what do we do with it? Well, the next step is registering your business. But before you even consider making your dental clinic official, you have to go to a banker. I'm assuming that you are just like me with no money in the beginning, like flat out broke. The only thing to your name is being a dentist, and that is exactly what you need to get a loan. Oh, and pro tip. Local banks will work with you a lot better than bigger banks, so try them out first. Bankers love dentists because dental practices have a failure rate of less than 1%. So to them, we're a safe bet. The next step is to file your business entity. You could do this all yourself, but I would hire a lawyer. A lawyer will make sure everything gets filed correctly. So make sure you do it. The last bits and pieces would be to register your name on social media. That includes websites such as Twitter, which is now X, and Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and whatever else you could think of. Register everything you can before someone takes it. And the good thing is it doesn't cost you any money, it just costs you your time. Oh, and pro tip number 2. If you're a new grad, don't forget your NPI. NPI stands for National Provider Identifier. It's a requirement for all healthcare professionals. It's one of those things that you'll need to practice dentistry, so everyone has one. Point number 2, identify an office location. My first dental scratch start was made by accident. At the time, I was driving towards another location to start a dental practice. It was in a not so nice neighborhood, but I was ready to tough it out and create my 4-chair dental office there. However, while doing some market research, I was driving around and I saw the city of Robbinsdale. There was a sign that said for lease, and I just met with the landlord and negotiated a deal there. I signed the paperwork a few weeks later and completely botched it. Yeah, this is probably something that you should never do. So do not do this. You could be thinking, why? What's wrong with it? Well, I'm glad you asked. I thought I was being smart by, quote, negotiating, and I thought I knew what I was doing. Now I could see all the mistakes that I've done, and it's kind of too late, The only good thing that came out of it was cheap rent. Now, sadly, I missed out on the maximum value for tenant improvement money. Tenant improvement money, or TI for short, is basically money that the landlord pays you to build your dental practice. So, what's the lesson here? Well, I think it's to hire a real estate agent, so try not to do everything by yourself. There are important things that you should be doing, like doing dentistry and not being a pseudo real estate agent like I was. I had to learn the lessons the hard way, but not you, because you can learn from my mistakes and capitalize on it. Commercial real estate agents are your friends, and they'll find a lot of locations for you. And they're going to help negotiate everything for your lease. Point number 3, design phase. So at the time, since I signed the lease, I now had to create a dental office. So what's next? Well, it's the architecture. You will now have to hire an architect to design your dental practice. This is a non-negotiable. So a lot of people will think, okay, so why do I have to pay so much for an architect and for a couple of drawings? But it's a little bit more than that. They look into the rules and regulations. An example would be, say, handicap bathrooms. Did you know that you need ADA accessible bathrooms? I didn't know that. Did you know that there are parking requirements for the square footages of your dental practice? Me neither. Plus, they help you map out all the dental rooms, the compressor rooms, the electrical, sterilization rooms, and laundry rooms, waiting room, panel room, and a whole bunch of other rooms. By the way, if you're following me up to this point, that means you're serious. And that's good, because that is what you need to be a strong player or not. In the end, I want you to succeed. I'm going to be creating more videos on dental practice building and practice management, so please click on the subscribe button and the bell notification, because that is how you'll get notified when I, upload the thing. Okay, so point number 4, construction. Alrighty, so let's get to the next topic called construction. This is where you'll find a company that will help you in the actual coordination and construction of your dental practice. They are called general contractors. Basically, they find various professionals such as electricians, plumbers, painters, carpenters, and a whole bunch of other people. Now, with general contractors, the biggest expense will be electrical and plumbing. Electrical is not just lights in the ceilings, but it's wires that run in the walls and underground. Also, they install electrical panels, exit signs, and everything else electric. Plumbing is, well, plumbing. There will be a lot of pipes for dental chairs, air compressors, bathrooms, and water and gas as well. I'll dedicate a future video on the construction portion and how much we paid for, so you can see as well. Oh, and pro tip, for the construction companies, you want to have at least 3 different bids. So these are crucial because the price ranges can be from $30,000 to about $70,000. And another pro tip, just because a construction company is inexpensive doesn't mean they're bad. In fact, you just want to ask questions such as, do you specialize in dental clinics? How many dental clinics have you made? And next, we have point number 5, compliance and systems. So let's delve into the next point, compliance and systems. When you're ready to do an extraction and it's an easy class 3 mobility and it's about to come out? Well, that's how I feel about running a dental practice, super excited. However, you still have to do the notes after the easy extraction. Without the notes, the procedure is incomplete and you'll have legal ramifications. So we don't want that. So there are things that you have to do in order to stay compliant. Type 2 National Provider Identifier, NPI, shielding plan for x-rays, professional liability insurance, PLI, fee schedule, credentialing, state unemployment and payroll. There's other things like OSHA and HIPAA training and POC protocols to establish. Thankfully, I had an office manager who took care of this early on. This is not my forte, and it shouldn't be yours either. I strongly recommend that you hire an office manager who can take care of all of this for you. As dentists, we are control freaks to a certain extent. However, too much control will limit your ability to grow. Point number 6, final to-dos. When my first scratch start was about to open, we were ready. All the team members were trained, we mopped the floors probably like 20 times, and the spirits were good. We even had big smiles, and there was just one thing missing: patience. The very beings that we treat and receive payments from. In dentistry, we have that saying, we need butts in the chairs. Unfortunately for us, not only was the schedule sparse, but the patients had a hard time finding our dental practice because it was on the highest floor. So the takeaway in this section is to schedule your patients in advance. We did have some, but a far too few. Now, if there's a problem, there's always a solution. We went out to the community and started giving out cards and explaining what we do and how we take medical assistance. The word of mouth grew fairly quickly, and families eventually started signing up for our opening day. Oh, and prior to your opening day, make sure you check your consent forms, inventory, security system, and merchant services. So merchant services is basically a credit card terminal. If the patients have to pay with a credit card, they would just run it through the terminal machine. We use Square for merchant services because it's so easy to use, but there are thousands of them out there, so you can choose whichever one you want. Point number 7, dental practice owner. The first opening day will feel surreal. When I opened my first scratch start, I remember like it was yesterday. All the hard work and sacrifices will be truly worth it. The very first most important thing you need to do is to make sure that you cash flow. If a credit card machine isn't working and insurance is not paying you, then we have a problem. The second thing you have to do is check your systems. Are the handpieces working? Is the sterilization machine running? Of course, you want to rely on your number 2, which is your dental office manager. At the end of your first day, make sure you do a mental pat on the back. you've earned it. So now you know the 7 steps of creating a dental practice is now to do a deep dive in creating a business plan. Without a strong business plan, it's like shooting a bow and arrow with a blindfold on. You're not going to hit your target. So click here to see how to make a business plan for your dental clinic.